Hello, this is ASMR Vibes. Welcome back to another video. I wanted to take some time out to quickly discuss the something that's been on my mind lately regarding the Xbox Series S, one of the consoles, specifically one of the iterations that Microsoft will be launching later on in the year. Now, I really think that the S is sort of going to be, along with Game Pass, Microsoft's Trojan horse. Um, I say that because I think pricing is a huge importance, at least here in the States. It is. I know it is even more so in other countries where technology prices are inflated. But what I can say from experience, take example the Nintendo Wii. It was a underpowered system that I loved, by the way, but they sold you on the some would call gimmick or innovation, but they sold you on that idea of motion control. But I also think that the price point helped too, and the fact that it came bundled with a game. I think it's a big deal for parents. I'm not a parent myself, but I think it is a big deal um, for parents to be able to just walk into, a Walmart or in cases with everything that's going on today, to go on Amazon or Walmart or Newegg and just place an order for a system for their kids for Christmas or for a birthday or something. But if you go on there, aside from Microsoft's confusing nomenclature of their systems, they're going to see that $300 price point, and it's not going to hit the wallet. Um, the kid will still probably be happy with getting a new system, and they just have Game Pass for, I think, just for console, it might be $10 or $15 a month for Ultimate, I believe, and you're good to go. You can you know download some games, and that's that. Now, to be fair, the PS5 Digital Edition um, is $400, and that's still a very good price point. It is. But I think going back to just how I think a lot of people that don't understand video game consoles and frankly don't really care a whole lot because they're not buying it for themselves, I think this $300 is sort of going to be a game changer for Microsoft. Now, I could be way off base, but I could see a lot of people, even gamers, sort of supplementing or dipping their toes into the Microsoft ecosystem with this system. For example, I was considering picking up an Xbox One. I'm doing it already. I was considering picking up an Xbox Series S, and I have a spare bedroom upstairs, so I could have it set up there, and I have access to Microsoft games and the other games that are part of Game Pass, as they, interchange those out over time. I don't have to worry about buying anything other than the Netflix model subscription that's already, in place and is hitting my wallet every month. Now, in addition to that, being, having a great experience with the PS5, rather PS4, apologies, I still want to buy a PS5, but I can get an Xbox Series S first, and then pick up a PS5 when it either drops in price or there's just a good bundle or exclusive available. And the thing that I'm kind of getting at here is the price hit from the Series S is not as substantial as the price hit from the PS5, whether it be the digital or physical edition. And obviously this is my personal viewpoint, and you guys might feel differently, and I would like to hear your thoughts on it, because there's arguments to be had among gamers that the PS5 is going to be, will eventually have more exclusives within the year, and yeah, that's prevalent with what the PS4 brought to the table. But as we all know, Microsoft did recently purchase Bethesda, um, a company that used to be held in high regards and has kind of been on the rocks the past year or so. So we'll see what Microsoft ends up putting out. You already see some of the impacts though with Microsoft acquiring Bethesda. I was reading in an article the other day that the Doom, the sequel to the remake of Doom 2016, I think it's Doom Immortal, I forget the title, um, will be coming out October 1st on Game Pass, is what I was reading. So you already, now that may have already been a thing that was going to happen, but I think it's pretty likely that that was due to the acquisition. Um, so yeah, I really think that the Xbox Series S is a Trojan horse because of its price point and because of how many games you have access to right off the bat. The you know Essentially the Achilles heel of this system is the fact that it does only have 512 gigs of SSD storage. Format that down, it's probably going to end up being like 490 or 480 or something. But it's enough, I think, to get you up and running for a while, until you have to bite the bullet and pick up that Seagate external SSD drive that plugs into the back of the system. I think it might be able to, yeah, it would plug into the back. Um, there's two ways to look at that. I think one way would be that, 512 can, it's not going to go far, but maybe it lasts you long enough to wait for a sale on one of those things. Would maybe be the way to go. Or you can still use an external hard drive, a normal mechanical drive, but just not with new Xbox Series X/S games. It would have to be with like um, the older gen 360 or Xbox One games. Then you can use the mechanical drive. It's just that the way that this is their reasoning, anyways, that the way that they're designing these new games is that they are taking advantage of the SSD drive, the speed of those drives, so you would not be able to use a mechanical drive because it is much slower. Um, Most of the time, clocking in at like 50 megabits, between 50 to 100 megabits a second. So, yeah, I just wanted to quickly touch base on that. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts, though. There's a few different ways to look at it, but I think ultimately a lot more people are going to be dipping their toes in the Microsoft ecosystem, whether it be to pick up an Xbox Series S as their first next gen system, or to pick it up way later down the line when it drops to like $200 or maybe even 150 on like a Black Friday sale with a bundle of well, not a physical bundle, but however they, maybe they bundle an extra controller or something like that. I could really see just a lot of people dipping their toes in. And the thing with Microsoft is they don't necessarily care about, you know, taking the hardware loss because they're getting you on the subscription-based model. And if you know anything about Microsoft and where they're going as a company, they're doing the same thing right now with Office 365 and other subscription-based software that they offer. They're sort of forcing their users, whether they like it or not, to go that route. So it really is in Microsoft's interest that you do get Game Pass. But at least in the short term, I do see it as beneficial, as much as I do like physical games, because this for me is going to be a secondary system that I have set up, and a cheap one at that. Now, whether I actually end up Um, picking it up near launch, that is to be determined. But I probably will eventually pick it up for that $300 because I see it as a sweet spot. Um, and then as soon as the PS5 has a game that I really want to play, I'm not huge into Demon Souls, but when something else comes out that really strikes my interest, that is when I will most likely migrate over to picking up a PS5. But as always, I would really love to hear your thoughts on the whole matter. Do you think that, what Microsoft is pushing out here is silly? Maybe you feel like the Xbox Series S is so much lower in hardware specs that it's going to affect the way that developers make games for it, which is a possibility. Let me know your thoughts. As always, I do appreciate you watching, and I hope you have a terrific rest of your day.